Alright, so my last video, which kind of ties up to where the scene currently is, I guess got corrupted, so I'm kind of going to fill in some gaps a little bit from where the last piece left off, or the last sort of section of the video. You'll be seeing all of these sort of stream together, but just so that you know, there was a bit of a glitch between the last sort of recording. So just to sort of pick up where we left off, I named the control, the Y control, the Y translate control. I named that control _translate Y. I also went back and renamed my root control control _root _translate XZ. And I did that because this control kind of serves double duty. It's not only the root, but it also serves as a translate control. So I just kind of felt like it made more sense for the naming convention to sort of match the function of the control. So the other thing that I did was I made sure that both of these controls were associated with the controls scene layer, and now I can turn those off and on as I want to. So if I select the root control, you can see that I can move it all around, but nothing goes with it. So what I want to do is actually start parenting the controls in a way that makes sense. So I want the Y translate control to be a child of the root control. So I select my translate Y control, and then I hold down the control. There's a lot of controls in this conversation. Sorry about that. And I hold down the control key, and then I select the root control, and then I just hit P. And you'll notice that Maya parents the objects accordingly. So now if I move my root control, the translate control goes up with it, which is great. And if I move the translate control, you can see that it doesn't follow, which is good. That's what you want. But you also notice that it's not actually affecting the ball. So let's go ahead and make the ball. I'm going to do the exact same procedure. I'm going to select the ball, hold down the control keys, select the translate control, then I'm going to hit P again. And now you can see we have this nice little hierarchy, and if I select the root control and move it around, the ball goes with it. If I select the Y translate control, it goes with it. The other thing that I had done in between the last recording and this recording is I've locked down the channels for the movements that I did not want this control to go in. And I'll show you guys how to do that. You just select the object, and translate Y is the only thing that I want it to do. So I'll select the X, hold down the control key, and I'll just click drag on the other channels, right click, and say lock selected. And you'll see these little gray things here which tell you that it's been locked, which is good. The other thing is, prior to let me actually go in there really quick so that you guys can see this. Information translate, and I'm going to turn this off. So also when you guys left off, you could actually like drive the ball through the ground, which is generally not what you want, and then certainly in this case it's not what we want to allow the animator to do. And so what you do is you go into your attribute editor, you select the leftmost tab for the control object, you go to limit information, click on expand the translate tab, and then translate limit Y, set that to 0, and now the animator cannot drive the ball below the ground, which is good. That's kind of what you want. So this controls the ball. That's great. If I go into my channel editor, everything is zeroed out. Now if I go to my root control, I can move this way, but I can also move it this way. And I don't want that because that's what this control is for. So I'm going to go in and do the exact same thing for this control that I did for the Y control. I only want the root control to travel on the X and Z axes. So I'm going to select the Y, I don't want it to rotate, scale, or control visibility. So again, I select the Y, I hold down the control key, click drag the other channels, right click, and I say lock selected. Now I can't move it up and down, but I can move it along the plane that it's supposed to do, that it's supposed to move in. So now this works very well for this particular animation, which in this particular instance or this sort of scenario, I just want the animator to animate the ball bouncing up and down on the grid, on a flat grid. Obviously, if this ball was going to be bouncing downstairs or something like that, you may want to consider giving the root object the ability to move up and down. You might. If that's the case, then you may want to go back and select that channel, right click, and say unlock selected so that you could do that. It really does depend a lot on, sort of the situation, the scenario. For this particular case, though, we do want it locked. And so the other thing, too, is the ball is named ball1. I'm just going to call this geo_ball. All right, now as always, you want to do a file, save scene as, and I'll just call this ball simple _01. All right, so now we have a very simplistic ball rig. And again, this isn't probably how you'd want to rig a ball, generally speaking, but this is sort of a learning process. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this this video here so that we've covered the translation, and I'll create a separate one for adding in the rotational controls. So anyway, that's it. Thanks.